Whose one is this?
It's mine. Are you good with that, or you
Yeah, I got it.
You do two?
Oh wait, can I do two? Oh,
Probably not.
no. Can't do that.
Oh yeah, I do a little bit of everything. yeah, it's a lot of fun. Okay, so we're in commercial right now, and then we have like a. Let me turn this way up.
Thank you. Have fun with.
Yeah, we'll do.
No, it's like I said, it's on the boat.
So we're in commercial, and then there's like a 4-minute package that's already been done, and then it's time for you guys. So we can probably go sit on the couch. Actually, let's. You want to just kind of tuck that, so it's like that. There we go. Yeah. Yep. At least you're wearing a black shirt, so if it pops out, it's not as bad. So.
You want me in a certain place in the couch?
Yeah, I'll have you probably closest to the chair, and then I'll have you in the middle. And we can get rid of those pillows if that helps. Make more room on those. But we'll get them. I'll take them from here.
You want to take it?
Yeah.
Did we get a third one? Yeah. This is the Gardens of Kyoto. Oh. It's really good. Have you read this?
You're acting like it's really good.
Sterling led us into the dark house, through the gallery of maps, and out to the parlor where a dimly lit desk lamp seemed the only light in the room. The furniture was threadbare and rose patterned.
The doctor's reading.
Yeah.
From a.
Is this your reading right
What
here?
are you reading? What is it?
This is the Gardens of
Yes, it's fascinating. Have you read
Kyoto?
that?
No.
It looks good.
It's fascinating. We're missing something here. Oh,
What are we missing?
I don't know. There's some. They've got. I don't know. They've got something where they worry about how things look. I don't know.
You're the decorator. You like having that stuff.
Well, there you go.
Okay, we're good. So
Second post? Anything you want to say?
Yes. So there's going to be a whole long package. You still have probably 5 minutes before we start. Very nice of you to be here. What are you in town for?
So I'm doing an event with
BarNone.
BarNone, and I kind of travel around the country and talk about the research that I did with The Biggest Loser.
Right.
But trying to partner with guys like this to revolutionize how we help people through a weight loss transformation, because so often there's an emotional side that gets neglected. And like we have brave people like Nicole, who
You're a brave people.
Courageous.
Yeah, courageous leader. Talk about that. They're not on Facebook Live, but
What are you doing there? What's this all about?
I'm showing people what it really takes.
behind the scenes. We got all kinds of behind the scenes, but
Where's home when you're not on the road?
Sacramento. Yeah, Sacramento.
Very good.
So we just flew in last night. You're from Kansas City?
Well, all of our kids and all of our debt was born here, so sort of.
Well, then, yeah, you got a lot. And where were you from? originally?
Wisconsin originally. My wife and I both
Wisconsin, okay.
went to University of Wisconsin-Madison, and then she graduated, I graduated, and then a couple years later she graduated, and we ended up here, and we've been here ever since.
Still Badgers fans?
You bet.
Packers?
You bet.
How does that go over?
It's fine because we can love the Packers because for the NFC, and we love the Chiefs. So we can love both teams.
Okay.
And until they get into the Super Bowl against each other, we don't have to worry about it.
You don't have to worry about that probably ever.
Well, you know, the first year that one of the early years that I worked, this 30 years ago or whatever, the news director at the station I worked at, which was just across town from here, said, I went to him and I said, I know I don't do sports, I do feature stories and stuff like that, but if the Packers and the Chiefs are in it, I get to go. You need to put me on this thing. He said, no problem, that's fine. Well, then there was a year where the Packers did get there, and the Chiefs had a pretty good year. I can't remember which year it was.
But
But
the Packers won.
what's that?
Was it, you think about old?
The Packers went, their 90, was it 97 that they were in the Super Bowl?
Against the Patriots.
Yeah.
No, that was after that, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
But
90,
Favre won it against the Patriots.
yeah, in 97, I think.
Yeah.
was it 97?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that same season, the Chiefs actually had a pretty decent season. So I would tell him every now and then, remember, if they both get in, I get to go. And the Chiefs had a pretty good, I think that was the season that,
Was it Bowman? Who was the quarterback back then?
maybe Steve Ballmer.
But who would you root for then in that case? Like, the childhood?
In my heart, I'd be rooting for the Packers because I grew up there. But my oldest son, for example, he grew up with the Chiefs. He loves the Chiefs the way I grew up with the Packers. So I would be, my head would be like, come on, Chiefs, this would be great, and you make my oldest son happy. But my heart would still.
Did you ever take your kids up when they were younger?
I know you guys struggle. I just graduated in May from Academy Art.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so I was in the newsroom a lot.
Oh really?
Yeah, so I was telling the producer, like, you have like one of the toughest jobs. Like, does she have to write the stories or pick what stories going on?
I think some days.
Yeah.
Was it the one on the Steadicam?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some days that she does, and I think today she did a lot more because our normal producer's off.
Yeah, I heard you.
But yeah, it's a busy
Busy job.
schedule.
It's pretty cool.
So, I mean, it's a very, because the Packers, as people don't know,
They're not talking about anything. So
so they have shareholders come in, have lunch. I mean, it's very involved.
It is a neat event, but we've never been up there before. I think we're less than 30 seconds away.
All righty.
And then you can be brave.
Stand by.
am I okay right here?
Yeah, right there.
I can't do this. I mean,
Out to 9, Joe.
That aggressive one? No, I'm not going to get too aggressive. That's usually a stretch.
Here we go. She's wrapping up.
Stand by.
This is so fascinating what we're about to talk about. He conducted the first psychological research with former contestants of NBC's The Biggest Loser, a really beloved program on NBC. And he's here today to share the secret to having success with weight loss. Not an easy thing to do. Dr. Armando Gonzalez, also known as Dr. Mondo, is here. Our client, Nicole Laster, and BarNone training gym owner, Wilson Thomas. All three of you, thank you for being here and talking about this. So, what is that? It's an amazing number of people who lose weight and gain it back. What is that number?
Well, medical research says 95%. That's an aggressive number. Wilson can tell you a different number on his gym. I think his percentages are much better.
Right.
But what it essentially points to is that a lot of people who lose weight gain it back in 5 years. And to me, when I look at it and look at the research with Biggest Loser, the work I've done, it makes a lot of sense actually, because we're only really treating the symptom. We're not getting to the root. And when we get to the root of a lot of why people are struggling, a lot of it is that struggling with emotional attachments to food, the story they're telling about themselves not being worthy of love, not being enough, and they're tying this idea that if I lose the weight, I'll be worthy. And of course, that's a rigged carnival game is what I like to say.
This is a very real thing for you too, because we have a before and after picture in your own kind of story of weight loss.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I'll be very honest, the picture that you're looking at, that was probably about 4 or 5 years ago. I have actually lost weight in my after. It's happened a couple times. There's this theory in addiction called the theory of missed attempts. And it's this idea that sometimes it takes 6 or 7 times to get sober before you finally stay sober. I believe that every time that we go through a transformation, sometimes we regain the weight, but we're learning as we go. And that doesn't mean that our success should be defined simply by the number on the scale, that sometimes it takes a while. So yeah, I've lost a lot of weight, and part of what I do keeps me, wanting to be having higher.
But you're sitting next to a success story. So what is it like from your perspective as a client?
Well, I have actually had success and not success, and success and not success actually, from what he was just saying.
Absolutely.
I am actually starting my journey again. So I'm just excited for what the future holds.
And persistence and starting again is really important. Having that in you to start again, and at BarNone you see that every day, don't you?
What we try to do is get you into the right mindset to stay consistent with it.
Right.
And that creates a balance for you emotionally so that you can do the things that it takes physically to be the byproduct of that. And that's weight loss.
Let's talk a little bit about, we've only got about a minute left. What are a couple of things we could do in our day-to-day life that would get us on the right path, that would put us going the right direction?
Be mindful, slow down, life balance. Those are 2 or 3, but essentially, what is your comfort eating cycle? We all have it. We're all comfort eaters, okay? We need to be more mindful about what are the emotions that are triggering that. What are the life circumstances? Are you a people pleaser? Are you constantly overextending yourself? Those are the things that we have to shift. That's why it's important to rewrite your story. We'll talk about it at the event tonight in Lenexa at BarNone Training. We'll talk about it tomorrow morning at the second event. But those are the things you have to do. In order to complete a true transformation, you must rewrite your story. And that's what we're finding time and again in research, and that's what we're helping with.
It's a fascinating way of looking at the deeper compulsions of overeating, and it really kind of takes in, it's a holistic sort of addressing of this.
Absolutely, yeah.
Fascinating stuff. You're going to see Dr. Mondo tonight, tomorrow. We just talked about it. BarNone Training Studio. We'll have full details, all kinds of information on these events with a link on kclive.tv later today. Thank all 3 of you for being here and sharing your stories.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. So extreme flooding has turned one rainforest into an underwater Eden. The amazing pictures are just 2 minutes away, and it's been a wild weather week around here, that's for sure. We're not quite done, Gerard. There's another storm system this weekend, right? We did it.
Awesome. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
Very pretty. Thank you.
My daughter has a tattoo on her wrist.
She's in seminary up in Chicago.
Oh, really?
And so it says Luke, I forget the chapter and verse, but Luke something with a little cross. I said, and she was kind of nervous about getting it because she thought it was sad and safe. And I said, that's great, but what if your life takes you a different direction and this isn't? And she said, well, I figured out I can make the cross a kite and the verse will become upscale. I'll have it all.
There you go. She's got it all, yeah.
So she goes from a believer to an agnostic atheist.
To a kite lover.
That's right. She believes in kites.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
all so
much.
much for
Yeah.
doing this.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Have
it.
fun in the event.
Thanks.
Yeah, certainly would. That was great, guys. Thank you.
so much.
Good to see you.
Nice
Thanks
to
for
meet
coming
you.
in.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye. She'll get your microphones. You can't go home with those.
Yeah, they're up.
Yeah, sorry, they're not
Party
souvenir
favor?
of your time.
We'll take a bottle of wine instead. That's all right.
You cannot have you can have some donuts too, but
Nah,
no,
that probably
that's
wouldn't be.
no.
That is not.
It's not
But the
vegan.
Thin Mints are mine. I'm like,
Thin mints. Okay.
everything in moderation, right?
Yeah. Well, what's the emotional triggers that lead you to the thin mint? We'll talk.
Oh, any emotional trigger.
I'll eat for any
Waking up
emotion.
is an
Yeah.
emotional
Wait.
trigger.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thanks for being here. It's always good to have somebody who's actually working toward the goal to talk to. That's good.
It's been a tough one.
Well, you're like
I
he
was-
said, you're brave to share
I
it.
know.
Right, Dr. Mondo? She's the brave one.
She is the brave one. 100%.
Good to see you. Thank you, sir. I noticed you walked completely past our pastry Jenga.
I don't even see that anymore. I'm a Whole Foods plant-based.
Is there anything that still tempts you
No, because ever since I went whole foods plant-based, watched the documentary Forks Over Knives. Yeah, that changed everything for me. So now I'm not tempted, but
Interesting.
it's because I'm out of the pleasure trap, and that's a book that we talk about anyway. So
Well, we only had 3.5 minutes. You gotta come back so we talk more about
we'll talk more. Yep, good talking to you. You guys are completely separate from the news station, right?
No, not completely separate.
Well, anyway, they were trying to get in touch. I've had emails with my PR team going back and forth, and they keep getting kicked back from the newsroom saying that their inbox is, I don't know, something's happening. But they were talking about doing a story and covering the event.
Okay.
Is there someone I
Do
should
you
get in
know
touch
who
with?
they were sending it to?
I don't know. I'll just forward you the media kit.
You could do that.
I mean, oh yeah, or do you want me to, whoever you want me to forward it to. I just wasn't sure because
popular thing in the show. People comment on the
my only concern was we would love if they do a story for them to do it tonight. That way we can also get people out there tomorrow.
Kansas City Live. He survived a real-life outer space adventure. Astronaut Jerry Leninger will be here with his out of this world.
Forward that to them, and then
I think that's the one that keeps getting kicked back, but I'm not sure. I'll look.
next week.
And you can get ahead of the entertainment curve. It is Broadway's next hit musical, taking the Starlight stage.
That's the direct number to the news desk.
Okay.
So try that one again.
If it doesn't work.
If it doesn't work, call them and they'll give you a different email to send to.
What was your name again?
Deanne.
Deanne?
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Have a good day.
The flooding itself is difficult for people, but this is a beautiful picture. And unlike river water here in our area,
4 minutes flies, huh?
Especially when they leave.
Oh, I know. That's. I think we go long. Yeah, we go long. Because one of the things I found is that the narrative is always in control. Like we did this event where we worked with the homeless and we had them create the event, and we were empowering them to lead it. They did this potluck. We came out there, and then we told the story about, oh my God, we partnered with the homeless and we empowered them as leaders. And the story was that they wrote was the homeless catch a break, and they interviewed all the homeless people, and they only put me and like the other people that weren't homeless on the news. Because that's just, people, the narrative is always going to get told the way they want it to be told. Which still, I mean, that's better than nothing. Where'd she go?
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye. Thanks.
Right, and that's where I think just the lack of, you know what I mean? But it's also speaking that into existence. Because she is a citizen. Oh, really?
How'd it go?
Where were you at?
I had to get work done.
This guy can't depend on you for anything.
Where is she at?
In bathroom. What did you need me for? Does he stand look like a goofy ass white guy just looking at you guys?
What do you hands?
You didn't need no hands.
Hey, we needed someone else to hold the camera.
Look at me right
What
now.
camera?
Look at me right
He's
now.
he's got two. These two. He's double fisted.
So that's the first time?
Are you still Facebook Live?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh my gosh. It's definitely not the first time.
By the way, when we left your house, we left it unlocked.